So vitamins. So do you need to take vitamins? Raise your hand yes if you need to take vitamins. Raise your hand no if you don't need to take vitamins. Raise your hand if you don't know. You know what? So ideally, we would all have really good diets. And vitamins are only to fill in the holes of your diets. In other words, they are supplements. In other words, you should only have as little as possible, right? The supplements that we talked about that are important are your fatty acids, your essential fatty acids, your probiotics, right? Vitamin D we didn't get a chance to talk to, but that would be another really important one, all right? And then after that, really depends on your lifestyle, depends on what you're into, depends on your diet, but I always say less is more, okay? The reality is most of the vitamins you see in the food store or the drugstore are junk, right? So you want to get basically whole food-based vitamins, not mean from the store whole foods, but they're based from plant sources. In other words, we all get that whole foods are better for food, right? Same is true for your vitamins. In other words, most of the stuff we get is synthetic. All right? So this is on your handout. Basically, the quick and easy way is if you have these things in your vitamin, they're synthetic. All right? So magnesium oxide is synthetic. Magnesium citrate is not. Does that make sense? So these are the forms you want to avoid. All right? And basically the way that that works is, many of you, I've shown this too before, but for those of you that don't know, say vitamin C, say it looks like this. Right? You take vitamin C, called ascorbic acid, from Walgreens, it looks like this. Your body goes, what is that? It kind of looks like vitamin C. I don't know what to do with that, so I'm putting that in my pee. That is now fluorescent yellow, right? Or I might go, hey, it looks like vitamin C, but it's missing the sticky outy thingy. I think I have some sticky outy thingies. And then it's, oh, I do have sticky outy thingies. And now it can be metabolized. But what am I doing? I'm creating a deficiency. Or what if I don't have any sticky outy thingies? You see how that's a problem? So again, ideally, all of our nutrition would come through our diets. That's really hard. So the supplements are there to fill in those holes. Just make sure that they're good brands. All right, you get what you pay for. Don't buy your vitamins on sale. All right, if you want to put them in like white vinegar for about 20 minutes, they should fully dissolve. That's a pretty good test to make see if your vitamins are junk or not. All right, or you can check the forms, or you can bring them in. I can tell you, the vitamins come in a couple different categories. Or throw it away now, upgrade it the next time, or good. Okay. So, food shopping. So, I'll tell you right now, your homework is going to be bringing your receipt. Because, you know what? Most things I take into my house, I eat. Right? So, you know, we have people food journal all the time, but, you know, the best way to get a good understanding of what kind of food's there is give me the receipt. All right? You can black out how much you spent. I don't care about that. But tell me what you're eating. Oh, that's for my husband. I don't eat Oreo cookies. No one's looking. I'm watching y'all. I know. Yeah, if it's in the house, you're going to eat it. Right? So, what you want to do, folks, is when you go to the grocery store, you understand that on the periphery is where all the live stuff is, right? So basically, you're going to go around the periphery of the store. First start off with your produce and your fruits, right? And then make your way around the periphery, and then those aisles are just for all the dead things, all right? If it's not going to go bad in your cabinet, it's not alive, right? So as many alive foods as you can possibly eat is really the key, all right? The next question that I always get is, yeah, well, what about organic? And I say, yeah, well, what about organic? So there is a cool resource, the Environmental Working Group, or EWG.org. And what it does is it tells you which foods you should buy organically and which foods are not as important to buy organically. Like things like apples, bell peppers, celery, potatoes, raspberries, spinach, strawberries. Lots of pesticides in those. So you want to buy those organically if possible. A pineapple, sweet pea, onion, broccoli, in other words, there's not a lot of pesticides with that. Or like a mango, there is a shell that you can peel away. So those are less important to buy organically. And the other thing you want to understand, do you remember the little numbers on the side of the fruit? Guess what they're for? So if it's a number, any 4 numbers, that's conventional and that means it's chemically sprayed and fertilized. All right? If it's the number 8 and then any 4 numbers, I just put 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, but it could be 8, 7, 3, 2, whatever. That's genetically modified. That's a whole other conversation for another time. And then if something is 9, 4 numbers, it's organic. So think 9 is divine, 4 hit the floor. All right, so use environmental working group. You know, it's tough. You got a family, you know, and it's like I could spend $300 on all of this vegetables and half of them. In other words, use the environmental working group. It's a really good resource. Living the well-adjusted life. So you're all speaking to the choir. But those of you that have been in the rooms lately have seen the safety pin that I have up here. And many of you have also commented, hey, I used that on my dress in Catholic school, right? But the safety pin is really designed to help us as chiropractors explain that, hey, the brain and the body are always talking to one another. It's what keeps you healthy. It's what really keeps you alive. And we talk about how that spine is the conduit between the brain and the body. So here's my son, I think about 48 hours old. I don't know, for those of you, my wife had a 40-some-odd hour natural delivery. You know, we actually got out of the hospital a day early because of when we showed up and this and that. Most people want to stay. We're like, get me out of here. All right? First place we went to was our chiropractor. So this is one of my mentors, Dr. Patty. And after 42 hours of unmedicated labor, the kid was subluxation free. Patty checked him. Says, this is a perfect cranium. All right? And, you know, it's like, have fun. Bring a kid back when there's a subluxation. In other words, Crosby care started right at birth. All right? And this is not the choice for everybody, but I can tell you the kids that are getting adjusted definitely have better immune systems, and they take their slips and falls, their crashes. They have a pretty darn good existence. But just as we talked about the stages of healing and things of that nature, a lot of times the birthing process itself can be traumatic. So raise your hand if you know what your birthing history was. Yeah, most of us don't know, right? So as the small child goes through the birth canal, many times the cervical spine is twisted or torqued or pulled, or many times with there's forceps that they use, or even a C-section. You know, there is some strain on the child as it comes in. So ideally, we are checking people's spines throughout the course of their life just to maintain the health, just no different than their teeth. So it's just something to think about. The body is always in this process of breakdown and repair. This is a great study that was done overseas, basically, I think in Sweden, and they looked at something called serum thiol. Okay, serum thiol is basically a measure of your body's ability to heal. All right, so people that have active disease have very low levels of serum thiol. So what they did is they basically took a population and they measured their serum thiol. And what they found is people that had active disease had the lowest serum thiol. And the people that had the highest levels of serum thiol were the people that were under chiropractic care the longest. When they looked at, in other words, your serum thiol was almost directly proportional to the amount of time that their body had been under care. That's just something to think of. The body, in other words, the body is always breaking down cells and creating new ones. But do you want that new cell to be a healthier cell? Yeah. Right? So part of that is getting adjusted. Part of that is diet. Part of that is exercise. In other words, you get that that's a huge umbrella. All right, we talked about how you have a wellness wheel, and there's different spokes. There's the diet spoke. There's the spirituality spoke. There's the exercise spoke. One of those major spokes should be the health of your nerve system, your spine. You know, we all know that your dental hygiene can lead to overall, you know, changes in your overall health. Why isn't it obvious that the spine can too? So just something to think about the next time you see someone that needs a chiropractor. Send them in. I'd love to talk to them. I'd love to help them. So that's that. Get to work, ladies.